Log 38. Day of recording. This is the 12th of July on a Friday, and this is my first week back after my break and my recollections of what happened and how the break helped me. I gotta say, the break was an amazing and needed adventure for me to appreciate and really come back with a fresh mind, and I did. I came back to the design and I felt actually quite calm and appreciative of my effort that I've been doing so far. I continued on the design in sections 7, 8, and 9, and I concluded the sections 8, and I'm going to sections 9, 10 this week, and I pretty much started the measurements for them, which is great. The design is almost done. The things that are left is just a major figure and some details around it and a thing that happens on the top, which is quite straightforward. And that's pretty much it, which is very interesting. And I'm looking forward to seeing this design completed because it's quite different than the other ones, as every design before this was. I find it quite amazing to see the differences. And in the end of the day, when I finished today's work, I took off the other designs that I've done so far, the other 5 designs, and I looked at them and I went through them and saw the details, and I felt quite surprised. My mind didn't really recall the details that I've done, all the embellishments, the different markings that I've created along the months that I've been working on this. And after this break and after this sort of pause, I was able to appreciate this again and really take it into account how much work I've been doing and effort I've been placing on this. And it sort of placed me in a very positive and sort of in the right frame of mind to continue moving forward, continue to enjoy and upgrade and add new things and feel rested versus suffocated with sort of this heavy desire to run away or any of the equivalent of feeling overwhelmed. So it was really surprising. One of the sort of concerns that I had, which I don't know if it could be labeled as a concern, but I think that we're sort of used to is that when you're doing something constantly and quite methodically, you gain sort of a muscle memory privilege, which is a good thing and a bad thing. The good thing is that you're used to what you're doing and your body and your mind is sort of adjusting constantly to it, and you're able to produce it quite faster. You know the way around it, basically. And the negative part is that you're not allowing yourself to grow, to really see things again and take the necessary revisiting and redraw that it's needed. And when I came back, I left myself in a situation where I've done the outlines, and the thing that was needed was the line work and the shades, the textures. So when I came back on Monday, I started doing the textures, and I thought maybe I need to relearn this again and having to go through all of that, which I didn't have to. It's always a surprise, even though I'm used to knowing that a break is needed for you to progress. But I came back. I started drawing, started sketching, doing the shades, and I found myself a lot more confident and a lot more level-headed in moving forward, and it actually showed. And I was really surprised and happy to see that. So it was a really necessary and needed break. And now I'm really taking my time to finalize this. I think I have another 2 weeks on it, given that this week I am finishing off probably everything in terms of the actual composition and filling in the blanks. But then I will need a few days to see everything together, add the values and the shadows to be right, so everything can coexist together rather than standing out as different collage elements, which they don't really feel right now, but they can feel quite flat because when you lack that shadow value or that intensity of the blacks and the lightness of the whites, things can feel a bit flat, and the perspective and the depth can feel a bit flat as well. And I'm very well aware of that, and I know that I need that extra few days after I complete the composition to see that with candid and a and a level headedness that is only given when you're finishing the bigger picture. So I'd say this week I'm gonna be confidently finishing the composition, and then by Wednesday the next week, so that will be by the 24th, I'll probably be completely done with this, if not earlier, and that would have marked almost. I've started this design on the 4th of June, and I'll finish it on the 24th, which makes it the longest design. But given that I had a break, a full week of a break, and sort of trying to get back to it very slowly and relearning things, given that I needed to learn them to better myself and hone my skills correctly, I took another few weeks than I am used to, which is great. Moving forward, as I said before, it's going to be another sort of break from the Stonemason, and we're going to be working on this blog entry and this reintroducing of my flow paintings that are remaining, this catalog, and I'm going to do another thing on it, another blog that it's going to sort of tie these around and really reintroduce it to be experienced again and advertise it. And I anticipate that's going to take a week or two. And as I do that, then I have the completion of the 6 designs, and then the moving forward to the big 3 major designs, which I need to reevaluate each composition as I usually do now, and moving forward in doing that. So I'm excited, I have to say. I'm excited for the changes, and I'm excited for the completion of this massive undertaking that I've started since November, which I didn't know it's going to take this long, and I didn't know a lot of things back then that I do know now. Or should I say, I know enough to question them in moving forward in a direction that I feel is the voice and the story that needs to be told for this tale. So in essence, this week was a real confidence boost for me, and the absolute sort of fine line and necessity of taking the break when it's required, which I need to remind myself. I need to sort of completely allow myself to accept this practice and really put this into my work ethic, given that a lot of the positives that I'm having now and a lot of the easiness that I'm having with the designs and how my mind thinks and how the time that I had in my break allowed me to really get here, to really sort of detach, so I can look at it at the third person view is quite amazing. So moving forward, I am going to definitely put this up in my arsenal of things that needs to be done in any endeavor that I do in life. And I'm guessing that this is going to be probably a short log. I don't have a lot of things to talk about, given that I'm just getting back to the whole drawing, and it's towards the end of it. I'm quite excited, and the majority thing that stood out this week was the sheer positivity that I'm having towards this design and how I'm feeling about it. And I'm happy to close off this chapter and move on to the next thing. So the next week's log is going to be probably the finale of these 6 designs, and really talking around that, and how it came to be, and see how I feel about that. Given that when I took out the designs today to see my progress and really be surprised by it, actually, the first 3 designs are obviously the beginning. So I could, if I wanted, go back and add some new techniques that I've learned, as I did way back in the third design. I reintroduced new textures, sort of an overhaul thing. But now I can do that again, and feel more confident with my shadows, add a bit more shadow and all that, which I need to consider if I want to do that. So I will consider that moving forward, and have that decision ready when I finish this design and I see all of them together next to each other, and deciding that at that given moment. So yeah, a short log, but a log that really restored some of my confidence, and really restored some of this passion that somewhere along the way of all this work that I've been doing since November became dull, and the rekindling of the flame became after I detached from it, and then the sort of the neediness of my character and myself, and the attachment that I had with this story to guide me back to this path and feel like I really want to do this. Not that I was doubting that before, but sometimes life can throw you many things, and you're like, want to go this way or the other, and at the same time you got to stay in the path that you chose, and it becomes really hard. But then when you allow yourself that choice, allow yourself to sort of not be restrained by this specific decision you made, and through all that freedom you come back to it, it means that it's a positive thing, and it's healthy for you to continue on, and you have the right head on your shoulders to complete this. And I think this is what I'm experiencing now, and it's quite positive for me. um I was gonna say that in flow I kind of did this every time that I would finish a painting. I would take a week off, but it wasn't as detached as the one that I had this time. Given that in the previous week of a break, I would spend a few days detached, and then I would come back to create the new design, to the composition, and think about all of that. But this time around, I really had all those days free, and forced myself not to do anything when it came to art, to really move forward. And was very strange in the beginning. Very, as you've heard in the previous vlog, a lot of that sort of self doubt, self loathing came in onto surface. But after I rode that wave, I began to understand why. And I began to understand that that's unhealthy, and my body needed to express that, and it was it was the right thing to do. So thank you for listening to this vlog, a small one than what you usually used to, and I like that. I like the fluctuation of both the amount of time that I talk in vlogs, and usually how my mind filters things. And it would make sense after a break, and after me expressing all that in the previous vlog, now to feel refreshed, and I see things more plainly, and I have more time to consider them and allow myself to start anew. Well, let's see how this week treats us, and let's see.